Everybody, hopefully you can hear me. It's Shane Yolkenheiden. Getting ready to take off here. Get all my cockpit set up already so you don't have to sit through me punching in waypoints for a million minutes here. It's all ready to go, more or less. So, just a couple little things to do. And waiting for our APU to come up. I'll let you take a look at my flight plan here, if you're so inclined, while I contact the ATIS. I gotta get the ATIS and we can get ready to go here. Alright.
Thousands broken. Temperature 32. 2.21. Altimeter 3002. ILS approach runway 17 left and 17.
Okay.
Simultaneous approaches in use. Runway 17 right arrivals. 29er. 11 NSC Sensi. Available only for OPR and CT. Small departures in use. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Mike.
Information, Mike. Okay, I didn't hear all of it.
Louisville International Airport ATIS information Mike 0056 Zulu. Wet 160 at 9er.
Okay, 160 at 9, right down the runway.
Few clouds at 5,500. Few clouds at 25,000. Ceiling 30,000 broken. Temperature 32. 2.21. Altimeter 3002.
Okay, got it.
ILS approach runway 17 left and 17.
Alright, so we'll be doing the, real quick, I'll go over this one last time for our pre-departure briefing. Let me give you Navigraph. So we're going to be using the Apollo 6 departure out of runway 17 left. Okay, pretty straightforward here. After takeoff, we're going to climb towards Dropa, make a right turn towards Dime, then on me, downs, and transition out at the Apollo intersection. 17 left, climb heading 170 to 1,200 feet, or 1,020 feet to direct Dropa, then on depicted route to Apollo. Very straightforward, Sid. Alright, and then we'll get the ground chart up, and I'm going to keep that handy just for myself off to the right-hand side. We're probably going to end up getting clearance for Delta, taxiway Delta down to Delta, probably Delta 6, Delta 7, Delta 6, and then on the 17 left. Alright, let me bust open my checklist to make sure I didn't miss anything else. Alright, before start checklist, aircraft log reviewed, fuel quantity is checked. We're carrying 80,000 pounds of fuel and 157,000 pounds of cargo today. Oxygen. Checked. Altimeters 3002. And 3002. Okay. Takeoff warning. We'll check it again, but they're checked. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and set the parking brake. Are we on APU power? Let's go APU power on, and let's pull the chocks and the ground power unit. We no longer need that. Parking brake is set, windows are closed and checked, doors are closed, beacon lights. Beacon light is on, ignition. We're going to go B today because I used A the other day. Let's go ahead and call ground for pushback and start. I think we need to ask ground for that. All right, where are we at? Okay, I'm on ground. Louisville ground. Good evening. UPS 2037 heavy on ramp 4. Request push and start.
UPS 2037, Louisville ground, good evening. Push and start at your discretion, advisory taxi with information Mike, and just make sure you're squawking mode Charlie for me.
Copy that. We do have information, Mike. I'll turn on the transponder mode, Charlie, and we'll call you back for taxi. UPS 2037 Heavy. Okay, he wants mode...
UPS 2037 Heavy, thank you for Mike. I appreciate that.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's get the tug.
Grounded cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, tug's on the way. I like to set the heading to the runway heading just in case we have any issues here. 170 in our case. Waiting on the tug. Looks like the tug is almost here.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Alright, so let's go down here and start our pushback.
Out of cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Perfect, right there. Right on our taxi line. Let's do it. Way down tug.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Alright. Alright, crew, we're ready for engine start. Let's go engine 3. Button out, light on. In 2. Oil pressure. Hey, fuel on. Alright, we got fuel flow EGT. Okay, starting number 1. Button out, light on. N2. Oil pressure. Going with fuel on. Fuel flow, EGT. Good start on 1, starting 2. Button out, light on. And 2, oil pressure. Fuel on. Fuel flow, EGT. Alright. Button out, button in, light out. Looks like a good start on all 3.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, let me get back in my seat here. All right, after start checklist. All right, anti-ice is off. We'll go ahead and turn on our windshield defog. APU bleed is off, and we can go ahead and shut down the APU. Let's go ahead and do our taxi checklist now. Flaps 20. Speed brake armed. Auto brakes takeoff. Trim. 5.4 degrees.
So
Aircraft
it's
nose up.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, trim set. Let's do our flight control check while we're in a spot and it's nice and safe to do so. Config. Okay. Ailerons left, 3 green. Ailerons right, 3 green. Elevator up, 2 green. Elevator down, 2 green. Rudder left, 2 green. Rudder right, 2 green. Okay, taxi checklist is complete. APU is spooling down, I think. Yep, spooling down. Let me get my head position back right. Alright, now we can call ground for that taxi clearance. Okay. Louisville ground, UPS 2037 heavy with Mike, ready for taxi 17 left.
UPS 137 heavy, taxi runway 17 left via Delta, cross runway 29.
Okay, 17 left via Delta, cross 29, UPS 2037 heavy. Alright guys, we're ready to go. Brakes released. Let's give her some gas. And we're rolling. Let's do a noticeable steering check. Brake check. Good. So I'll show you where we're going here. We're coming out of ramp 4. We're going to make a left turn on Delta, cross runway 29, and pull up here on Delta 6 for 17 left. And while I'm in the ramp area, I only use number 2 engine to maintain forward momentum. I don't use the engines 1 and 3 except for breakaway so we don't blow anybody over. Alright. Clear on the right, clear on the left, coming left. Beautiful turn. And crossing 29. We'll go ahead and tell ground when we're clear. Ground, UPS 2037 heavy, clear runway 29.
UPS 2037 heavy, affirmative. Thank you for that.
Louisville ground, American 2042, looking for pushing start.
American 242, Louisville ground, good evening. Push and start your discretion, advise ready taxi with information Mike.
Now advise ready taxi with the mic, American 242.
I would not be able to play this game without live ATC like this. This is what makes it for me. It wouldn't be any fun without it. Alright, what is that there? Delta 4. What do we got coming up here?
UPS 2037 Heavy, monitor center 119.55. Have a great flight.
Okay, 1955 for UPS 2037 Heavy. Thanks a lot. Okay, he's giving us over to center. Turn's coming up here. So we're going to hold short of the runway and call for
American 1609.
call for takeoff clearance from there.
Radar contact, welcome.
Okay, got a turn coming up here. Let's slow her down. Let's slow her down. All right, let's hold right here. I'm gonna set the parking brake. All right, let's make sure everything's set here, right? Let's go. Radar on. Transponders already set. Landing lights, strobe lights.
International or somewhere else?
Waiting for, we're gonna call for takeoff clearance right now.
Okay, humor me. What is the ICAO for that one?
Indy Center, good evening. UPS 2037 Heavy holding short of runway 17 left, Louisville, ready for takeoff.
UPS 2037, Indy Center, good evening. The wind 160 at Niner. Louisville, altimeter 3002, RNAV to drop, runway 17 left, clear for takeoff.
RNAV the drop, clear for takeoff 17 left, UPS 2037 Heavy. Okay, we are clear, guys. So,
And Hooker 5 flight,
let's go.
You said your destination is Delta Tango Whiskey.
Clear for takeoff. True.
Hooker 5.
Arrival end is clear.
Roger. You
Departure
and
end clear.
your companion are VFR approved. Squawk 6-7.
Nav armed.
Departure
Profile
arrive
armed.
at your own risk. The Ray Patterson altimeter 3007, wind 1605.
And Amazon 244, mid-flight, we actually figured out our left generator had an issue, but it's fixed now, so if possible, can we go back up to 31000?
Okay, ready. Let's do this.
Amazon 244, let me just double check there aren't going to
Let's
be
stabilize.
traffic conflicts in your area. Stand by one.
Okay, let's go. Takeoff power.
Delta 1228 for direction of flight, descend and maintain flight level 3. Actually, can you take 350? We can, Delta 1228.
And auto flight.
1228, climb and maintain flight level 350. Actually,
Thrust set.
yes, that won't be a problem. Delta 1228, climb and maintain flight level 350.
Forward pressure on the yoke.
Air Canada 8556, Cleveland Center now.
Okay, releasing.
119.8, correction, 125.42. 125.42, thank you. Good day, Air Canada 8556.
B1.
Amazon 244, you want to play level 310?
Rotate.
310, 244.
Amazon.
Positive rate, gear up.
44, roger, climb and maintain flight level 310.
Climb maintain flight level 310, thank you. Amazon 244.
American 383, contact Cleveland Center 119.87. 119.87, American 383.
I'm flying by hand right now. All right, let's go auto flight. Autopilot's got it. Good takeoff.
MD Center Delta 4994 with you at flight level 360. Delta 4994, MD Center, good evening.
Initial clearance is to 5,000.
Altimeter 3006, landing south.
Coming right.
3006 and landing south, Delta 4994.
Okay, once we get out of this turn, we'll go flaps retract. I don't like to raise the flaps while we're in the middle of a turn. In case we get asymmetrical flap retraction, then we're going to be in trouble there. So let's wait for us to come out of this turn and we'll go flaps retract.
Amazon
1,000 to go.
244, did you make a left turn direct tap?
Amazon 244, I said earlier, for some reason we don't have TAF, but if, confirm the arrival that's gonna have that waypoint.
Alright, let's go flaps up.
So you're filed for Charlotte Douglas, the Charlie Lima Tango Airport. The arrival that you filed is the Parker 4, well, Parker 3 was in your plan, but basically the same thing. Taft is the first waypoint.
Let's go, flaps retract.
Yeah, affirmative. We
Approaching.
see it in our planned route, but our autopilot doesn't have it as a waypoint.
Okay, what is the first fix you do have so I can coordinate with Atlanta?
The first what? Sorry.
What is the first fix that your autopilot is seeing on that arrival?
Stand by.
Any center, UPS 2037 heavy, holding at 5,000, looking for higher when able. We were cleared to 5 for the initial clearance.
UPS 2037, I appreciate you not blown by the altitude. It is not very often that we get people that remember that, so very good job. Climb and maintain flight level 340, I appreciate the patience.
No problem, up to 340, UPS 2037 heavy. Look at me getting compliments.
Delta
Woo,
4994,
let's go.
Descend via the JQ6.
FMS speed profile, let's go all the way up, 340.
The JQ6, Delta 4994. Amazon 244, it almost looks like you're going for Linda's along your track.
Alright, 340.
Let me,
You know what?
on the Parker
Let's turn
arrival,
this
the next waypoint
so loud.
is in coma, November, Charlie, Oscar, Mike Alpha.
There we go. I just turned down the COM 1 just a little bit. It was getting a little too loud for me. Let's do our
Okay.
after takeoff checklist.
Flight present heading, if you're able to reload the arrival.
After takeoff, gear up.
And
Flaps and slats are retracted.
dealer's choice really if you want to go Linda's or Taft, but if you can reload the arrival procedure, that would be greatly appreciated.
Spoilers
We'll be
disarmed.
guaranteed going for Linda's prime.
Auto brakes
but I can reload the
off.
arrival.
Flap takeoff
so
selector,
if you're
15.
going towards Linda's, that's fine. That's easy enough. for
EAD
me to
is
change on my
checked.
end. I just
No
know
alerts.
that Atlanta's not giving me
Altimeters holding on those.
Okay, sorry, apologies. I'm kind of not best at commercial, but yes, we are directing Linda's
And
at the moment.
let's clean up our lights
So
here.
for you, it's gonna be
Landing lights,
Linda's,
taxi lights,
Citus,
runway turn
Williams,
off.
Suzanne, Parker's, then in coma, correct?
A-firm.
Alright, once we clear 10,000, we'll go to FMS speed.
On my end, give me just a second,
There we go.
and I will get that altered.
Okay, pushing the nose down, going for 332 pitch on the Climbout.
That's the issues.
NBS 501 Delta Juliet, checking in at 430.
So far, so good, guys. This was a really nice takeoff tonight.
Number
Airport.
501 Delta Juliet, MD Center, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, man. I would like to step out for about 7 minutes, if possible.
That is approved. And out of curiosity, where are you flying? I don't recognize that destination code.
That's a private airfield, Leeward Farms. It's even
It's got a sonar and approach too, which is pretty cool.
Check.
Huh, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, it's on flight NCO. Go get it.
Southwest 1488, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Down to 240, Southwest 1488.
Okay, we're approaching our climb out speed of 332. The autopilot's going to start pitching up to capture that speed with pitch while we maintain climb thrust. 102.7 and 1.
Climbing flight level 400.
Southwest 14. Let's see, I'm trying to see. Oh, there. Southwest 1434, ND Center. Welcome.
A little bit of turbulence up here.
3287. Please give Chicago my regards for the late handoff. Contact them now. 126.47. Completely my fault.
Alright, no problem.
I see we got a couple people watching right now. Say something in the chat. Say hello. I want to thank you guys for being here. A lot of times I record these things live, but very few people watch them, but they watch them after the fact. So if you're here watching with me now, I appreciate it. Climbing through 5,000 for flight level 340. If you're coming in kind of late, you missed a nice takeoff. I thought it went pretty dang good.
Falcon 3439, ND Center. Welcome. Delta 1207, can you take a shortcut? Affirmative. Alright, you're about to get my favorite waypoint in the whole NAS for that USA. Proceed direct. Meow. I was waiting for that. Direct me out for Delta 1207. Every time I get a chance to do it, I do it. I don't care what Memphis says. I love that waypoint. I will give it every time.
Meow.
I understand.
Meow. Okay.
My night.
It's the only time I can meow on frequency and get away with it. I will use it every single time.
Everybody's having a good laugh tonight. Ha ha.
That is amazing.
Okay.
Wait until he finds out about the Sigma arrival in Corfu.
Hey, Sean Hall. Nice to see you. I don't think I've met you before. Are you
44, what is your Mach number?
new to my channel, or have you been a subscriber for a while and just been lurking? It's nice to meet you if I've never talked to you before.
Really good question.
Oh, 18,000.
0.56.
Let's go altimeters 29902 and on a standby 29902.
Anytime I go
Cool.
over the speed I'm going, I
After takeoff
get
checklist
feedback,
complete.
over speed, so this is
Let's go ahead and turn on that radio chatter a little bit more. It's really blowing me out. There we go.
0.56.
That's better.
Skill issue. Take your spots in gear.
Somebody said skill issue. Skill issue.
Yeah, you're flying an A330. You should be going a lot better than 0.56. That's okay though.
Well, we did have a
tell you
generator
what, let's
issue
do
earlier, so,
this. Vector for
why my aircraft
traffic behind you so that they don't run over you. Turn left heading 270. I'll have back
Okay.
to Linden for you when they clear you.
So optimum altitude is 350. I filed 340 initially.
Affirm, heading
I'm looking at my flight plan here.
for sequence into Charlotte.
Looks like
the traffic behind you is
we'll have a step climb coming up about an hour or so after top of climb at 360.
20 knots overtake. I need to drop them before I get them to the border. So just make sure I don't have them run over you.
All right.
For Charlotte, turn
Step
left.
climb in about an hour.
No problem. The plane's turning right, heading 270. So is that gonna work?
Oh, okay. So you're a Warner Pacific guy. Well, I've got great news for you. If you're a Warner Pacific guy, I got plenty of turns in the hopper. I know I've been kind of slow releasing them lately. I've got about an 8-day buffer. I've got tons of turns, and things are getting super spicy. So keep watching those if you're interested. You're gonna love it. It's getting super hot.
Southwest 1488. If you're not already over to Chicago, contact them now.
But this is what I do when I'm not playing Warner Pacific. This has always been one of my favorite hobbies. So I decided to start showing this on the channel as well, just so everybody can see what I'm out here doing.
Need something, and it's not coffee.
Gin and tonic.
From Chad and the Cumberland boys, I don't want to step away from this for that just yet.
Hey, let's go outside and take some shots, man. It's beautiful right now.
Enough for that.
Look at that sunset. Let me get that screenshot. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yep, I had to capture a screenshot. I might use it for my thumbnail for my approach in Ontario tonight. So my my policy with this flight sim and stuff, and when I do these live streams, is that I typically am not going to bore people and show 4 hours of me flying straight and level across the United States, because it's just not a lot to see, to be honest with you, right? I do some fuel checks. I make sure that we're tracking on our fuel. I do system monitoring. I talk to ATC, switch channels, but other than that, unless something breaks on the jet, it's pretty quiet flying. So I don't typically, you know, show that. But I would like to make a nice thumbnail for the next video that I do in a few hours, and I think I just found it. Let's see if we can get some interior shots as well. What did I mess with? What did I change? It's got a good interior shot too. That's a good one.
November 856, Alpha Quebec, Indy Center, hello. November 393, Whiskey Golf, over to Atlanta Center now, 132.987. 32973, Whiskey Golf, good night, okay.
That's a good screenshot right here as well. Yeah, like that. Let's go.
1813, cross Colts at flight level 230.
We'll cross Colts at flight level 230, Delta 1813.
Got it. Cool. Couple of screenshot options for me later on. That's, hey Sean, that is absolutely right. Oh, that was to go. Sorry, I missed my altitude call. I wouldn't want to play this game if I couldn't have ATC. To me, flying along with the AI and all that, it doesn't do it for me. So if I'm looking at the map, I'll kind of show you what we got, what's going to happen here pretty soon. So let me bring this up. So this is where we're at right now. We're about to leave Indy Center, and unfortunately, we are going to have some dead zone here, right? But it's only 6:30 p.m. Pacific time where I live, so we may have ATC back on in LA Center when we arrive. I hope we do anyway. It will only be about, let's see, I'll tell you what time it's going to be when we get there. Check this out. Boom. I'll show you where we're at right now. That's where we're at. We just took off, and the arrival time in Ontario is 3 hours and 16 minutes from now. So that will put me at about 9:50 p.m. local time. There might be somebody on by then. Sometimes I get them, especially when they see you coming in. Like if they know you're coming in, that sometimes people, the ATC guys will hop on just to give you ATC down into the ground. I love that. I see that a lot in LA Center. All right, so we've leveled off at.
You are the secondary. You can go ahead and squawk standby. I don't actually need a track on you.
Leveled off at flight level 340.
Hooker 3.
Bit of a headwind tonight. And we're at climb thrust limit 103.1. They should switch over to cruise thrust here shortly.
We can climb higher. It might be that we're going low. No.
Yeah, drift up just a little bit here. This should pop over to cruise thrust here in just a second once we get a little bit closer to 340.
Getting squawks. Reset transponder squawk 6716.
There it goes. Cruise limit. See? We are now officially in cruise.
Southwest, correction, United 9666, 383 for 390.
So going back to what I was showing you,
28, contact Atlanta Center 1.
this is Indy Center is actually very busy tonight. So if you look at this thing, every one of these green aircraft are under the control of Indy Center. Now, individual airports like Louisville or Louisville, I can't pronounce it. We have a ground controller there, right? But once you get up to airborne, you're talking to center. So this guy's got about, heck, I don't know, 30 people. He's managing 30 people right now. He's doing a dang good job. That's impressive. They don't just let anybody be a center controller. They want only the best because they have so much workload. All right. Well, I'll probably stay on this stream a few more minutes, and once we get signed off from center, I'll probably wrap it up, and then I'll come back on in about 3 hours for our descent and arrival into Ontario.
Bear with me just a little bit longer. I'm having to untangle a few things up here in the air. I'll get to you ASAP. Okay, that's no problem. We'll be range 6 over. Delta 1813, contact Cleveland Center on 119.87, 1987.
Going over to 1987.
Oh, I already know what's going to happen. He's going to give us Unicom, so we'll get that. We'll get that in our standby for when that time comes. 122.8.
3501, Indy Center, hello, climb and maintain flight level 37. Make it 310 now for traffic. I'll get you higher when I can.
Up to 310, Southwest 3501.
Little bit of turbulence up here. Not too bad though. We're just all in cargo. 157,000 pounds cargo on board today.
Forget about me.
I'll show you the load sheet. So here's our load sheet. Let's talk shop here for a second.
I did. My fault. Left heading 09.
Our takeoff weight was about 490,000 pounds.
Had a feeling, but it's alright.
Our block fuel for this was 80,000 pounds. So I try to plan for domestic flights like this to land with 20,000 pounds. Let's see what the FMS says right now.
Okay, Hooker 3 flight, I got your radar contact 20, make it 27 miles.
28. This will revise down as we get closer. Yeah, it usually overestimates to get closer. Alright, back to the back to this. Hey Sean, I see your question. I'll answer you in just a second. I want to go over this load sheet real quick. This is our route right here. Manifest right here, 157.2 on the cargo. Landing weight estimate today is going to be 431.6, and this is our fuel planning flight log as well. So I like to check what the fuel on board estimate is as we cross these different fixes. So looks like at PXV, which is Pocket City, we should have 69,000 pounds of fuel on board. We'll see about that. I don't know. Maybe 69. It seems a little high. Oh, because we're going to GCK, right? Let me see. Flight plan. Okay, we're direct GCK. So at GCK, we should have, looking at the flight plan, crossing Garden City VOR, we should have 49,000 pounds of fuel on board. So every time I cross a fix, I check to compare how much fuel I actually have on board with what's calculated to make sure that we're not have a fuel leak or something like that. So
United 9666, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Anyway.
How much fuel on board do you have for weather deviation?
Ooh, weather deviation. I want some of that.
Quite a bit.
United 9666, Roger, for weather that I really don't want to send you through directly along your flight of
I'm just listening.
path of flight, sorry. Let's do this. I'm going to give you a new clearance to Nashville.
Ooh.
I believe it's going to be the Paisley arrival, but let me double check that.
This guy's giving a weather
Flight
deviation.
Heading of 130.
Sean, do I fly? The answer is yes and no. I am not current, but I used to. I was working. I got about. Oh, that's us.
To the west, Kansas City offline, frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom 22.8. Thanks so much, UPS 2037 Heavy. Okay, now we're off frequency. Sean, I was working on my private pilot's license. I have about 25 hours. I was soloing cross country, and I ran out of time. I got married, got divorced, had some kids, got rid of her too. So now I'm a single dad with 2 small kids. So unfortunately, I just don't have the time to finish my private pilot's license. I would love to someday. So in the meantime, this is what I do. I fly MD-11s for UPS. And I also work on aircraft for real. So in real life, I'm in the Air Force, and I am in aircraft maintenance. I used to be a hydraulic mechanic on KC-135s and C-17s. I still technically am, but I'm pretty high up the food chain now, so I don't actually work on planes too much. I'm more of in supervision. So aviation is my daily job as well. So all of this stuff makes sense to me, right? Everything I'm doing here, the ATC, setting up the FMS, running the overhead panel, all this stuff is like, I kind of do it in real life anyway. I don't fly them, but I can operate this stuff. So that's why I like to do what I do up here. And it just comes naturally to me. I hope it sounds like I know what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to portray, some professionalism when I'm doing this sim stuff. I know it's a game. I know it's a game. And I know it's not real. But if you're going to do this, get immersed in it, get real, enjoy it, and simulate what you can't do in reality. So I try to portray some professionalism when I'm up here flying this thing. And hopefully it's coming across that way. Mitch. Hello, Mitch. How are you? Nice to meet you. Are you a subscriber to my channel, or are you just kind of joining me for the first time? I only recently started doing these live streams with the MD-11, so I'm seeing a lot of new people that I haven't seen before. This isn't actually the normal thing that I do on my channel, but I'd like to incorporate more of it. All right, Sean, let me see what you said here. Yeah, life does get in the way with your private pilot stuff. It's not a question of money. It's a question of time. So I have a girlfriend, but we don't live together. I have 2 kids that are in elementary school. They go back and forth between houses. I'm in the military. I work a lot. I just got a lot of stuff going on, and it's really hard to find time. It's really hard to find the time to fly for real right now. I actually started up again about a year ago at French Valley Airport, California. And I found a flight instructor. I was doing really good, getting back into stuff. And then the flight school closed down. And the flight instructor moved to an airport that was an hour and a half away. And that really kind of killed it for me, because I just don't have the time to drive an hour and a half. And there's really not a lot of other great flight school options that are immediately near where I live. So that's why I'm kind of back to square one. As it pertains to flying for real, anyway. So like I said, can't do that right now because of time, till I find a flight school that's close and makes sense with my work and life schedule. But I'll fly the heck out of this MD-11 all day. I think I do a pretty good job of it too, if I'm saying, you know. And right now, so there's 2 prerequisites for me when I fly these simulations. One, I want to fly online on VATSIM. So again, I'll show you that over here. This is us, and we're on VATSIM right now, and every one of these little green things is a person, is a human being flying online. So we're flying in an environment with lots of other aircraft and lots of other people. And I like that. I like talking to the air traffic control. I like coordinating with other aircraft. I like all this stuff. So that's a prerequisite. And prerequisite number 2 is I want my hours to count towards something. And that's where I get into stuff like this. So I'll show you on while the aircraft's flying just fine, I'll show you. I'm in a virtual airline right now called UPS virtual air cargo. Okay? And I like to do this because when I fly, I want it to count towards something. I want to build hours, virtual hours, right? So I'm in this virtual airline. I just came back to it after about a 13-year layoff. And since basically the 26th of May is when I got back into flight simulating, but less than a month ago, I've got about 50 hours logged with UPS virtual air cargo. A couple days ago, if you check my channel, you can watch these videos. I flew to Cologne, Germany, and back. So now I'm just relocating back to Ontario. So on the 14th of June, I flew from Ontario to Philadelphia. Next day, I did Philadelphia to Cologne. Yesterday, I did Cologne to Louisville, and now we're flying back to Louisville, back to my my hub, which is Ontario. And Ontario is my hub because that's my real-world, real-life air field anyway. Well, let me rephrase that. It's my local airport that I would fly out of commercially. I work at March Air Force Base, which is like 15 minutes away, but you don't fly commercial out of there. So yeah, I want my hours to count towards a virtual airline, and I want to fly online, and I do those things. And if you think about it, I haven't flown prior to the a little choppy up here. Prior to the 26th of May, I haven't flown online or flown any flight simulator in 13 years. 13 years or so. So I came back to this. I dove into X-Plane 12, which I'd never played with before. I bought a Payware MD-11 because that's what I used to fly way back in the good old days. And I'm back already up here flying. And I think I'm doing okay at it. I pick things up quickly. And it all came back to me really quick. Like riding a bike. Hey, Mitch, so do you normally watch my War in the Pacific content? Or are you here for this flight simming stuff? I'm curious what brought you here. Yes, Sean, absolutely they do. FedEx and UPS. Actually, check this out. I'm going to show you something. Hold on. I am a little bit of an MD-11 aficionado, if I say so myself. So if you kind of want to see where they're all at right now, you can go to airfleets.com, and we'll sort them by active. Oop, nope, I don't want that. And these are all the active MD-11s in the world right now, and you can see the bulk of them are going to be FedEx and UPS, okay? With a few of them actually flying with Western Global Airlines. And I don't want to give away too much, but me and a friend are actually looking at creating our own virtual airlines modeled after Western Global. Now, they don't fly nearly as many MD-11s as UPS and FedEx do, but they're the only other significant operator of the type. It's just these three, more or less. Okay, so they're starting to get phased out because they're just not the most efficient. They're getting old, getting harder to maintain, and there's just other options that just make a little more sense. Like, they're not going to have the capacity or the range, but they're going to have 2 engines instead of 3, so it's going to be cheaper to operate. So MD-11s are kind of on their way out, but I'm going to fly them as long as I can because I love them. Love me some tri-jets. So there you go. Mitch, I love the DC-10. I love the DC-10 very much, but there's very few of those flying still. Now, interestingly enough, there is an MD-11 that operates out of my base by Omega Air Refueling. They have a DC-10 DC-1040, I believe, is what it is. So it has the Pratt Whitney engines on it, and they use that for contract air refueling for DoD. So they do a lot of probe and drogue type missions for the Marine Corps and the Navy. And I get to see a DC-10 fly over my house almost every day. That's pretty cool, because there's not a lot of DC-10s anymore. But of course I love DC-10s. I love any kind of tri-jet. L-1011s, DC-10s, MD-11s, 727s, the Trident. 3 engines is so aesthetically pleasing. And the MD-11 is the king of them all. All right, guys. Well, we're pretty well established on cruise here. Everything's good, on course, on speed. I guess the next event we've got in 40 minutes is a step climb to flight level 360. I'm going to go ahead and put that in right now. But I don't think we want to sit here and wait for that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this stream right now. But if you guys are up in a few hours, please join me again as we do our descent, landing, at Ontario and taxi to the stand. So I'll be back online for that. Just look out on my channel. I'll have a preview thing, give you like a 30-minute warning. So if you'd like to watch me land at Ontario, hopefully we'll have some ATC as well. I'd love to have you back. In the meantime, thank you guys, all you guys who were chatting with me and stuff. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you want to watch more of this stuff. And other than that, I'll see you guys in a few hours. Thanks so much and have a great evening.